Well, welcome everyone. Here we are again, and we have an amazing show today. We have two, you'll see them in a second, two very special people here, Taylor and Amy, and we have a lot to talk about. Taylor runs marketing here in the United States. He's the Chief Marketing Officer for the U.S., and Amy runs marketing in the international markets, Chief Marketing Officer in the international markets. But today we're going to start by talking about the liberation of Taco Tuesday. Now, those of you who didn't know that somebody actually owned the trademark for Taco Tuesday, which is kind of hard to believe. I think they had the trademark in 1989. So somebody's owned the trademark for whatever that is, 30-some years. Well, we didn't think that was right. And so a group of people led by Taylor and Amy went to liberate Taco Tuesday, to share it with the world. So we're going to talk about that today, and then we're also going to talk about the Taco Bell brand. So I'd like to welcome two of my favorite people, Amy Durini and Taylor Montgomery. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us, Mark. Thanks for having us.
This is amazing. You know, in my prior life, I really didn't like marketing people.
We know.
Yeah, because
I'm
a sales.
In your prior life?
No, I love marketing people now, but I was a sales guy. So sales and marketing, a little bit of a clash
friction there.
Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for joining today. So Amy, talk a little bit about how you got here. I know you worked in QSR for a few years, and you had a really cool journey to get here.
Yeah, QSR is an interesting space. Everyone always asks me why I've stayed in QSR for so long, but maybe it all boils down to I just love food. But really, I think it's such a dynamic industry, right? We'll talk to Taylor about this, I think, but consumer goods, takes a really long time to move. Like, you can make a decision. It could take months, years to actually make the change and see results. And what I love about this industry is you can make a change and you can see results in 2 weeks. It's super agile and dynamic, and at the heart of it, we're all consumers of QSR, right? It's such a relatable consumer experience. Yeah. So I love that as a marketer because it's impactful and fun, right? And then we can make changes quickly. So it's addicting, actually. I think that's why I've stayed in it so long.
So how long have you been at Taco Bell?
At Taco Bell, 2 years. In Yum for 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And are you happy to be here?
Of course. I mean, it was the best decision.
It's a very good answer, by the way.
The best decision. I'm a much better marketer for having worked at Taco Bell.
Love it.
No question.
All right, let's go over to your running mate over here, Taylor.
Oh, I am always Amy's running.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got that right.
P&G, but that is a very disciplined learning experience about marketing. Talk about P&G a little bit.
No, I think it's a great proving ground. I always say that when you start at P&G, you're either going to break or you're going to come out of there as a Navy SEAL when it comes to running brands and businesses. And why? You learn the concept of ownership from day one. There's no one out there that's going to be responsible for your brand, responsible for your business results other than you. And that changes something in you, Mark, when you're put in a situation like that. You better be hungry, you better be humble, and you better learn to surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. Otherwise, you're not going to succeed. But the great thing about P&G as a company, and shout out to any fellow Proctoids that are out there.
Proctoids. I know. Sounds like something you need a
lot of us are on the away team now. You don't like to be called a Proctoid when you're actually there. It just teaches you the fundamentals of what it means to be a leader and how do you use marketing and brand building as a tool to ultimately run a business. Yeah. So it was an amazing experience. I loved it. Met a lot of great people.
Yeah, what I have learned from Proctoids is that it's not just the brand. It's running a business through the brand.
That's exactly right. Marketing is a tool on how you ultimately grow a business because marketing is a discipline to understand how consumers work. Right.
So at Taco Bell, really, I mean, we're really about two things. I guess we're about a lot of things. But we make food, but we market to our consumers. And the better job we do of marketing, the more they buy our food. So, Amy.
Yeah.
You run the marketing business around the world. What's a normal day look like for you? Which is probably a bad question because there's probably not a normal day.
There probably isn't a normal, especially in international now because, Taco Bell never sleeps. Like, even when I'm sleeping, Asia's still out there selling tacos. So it's pretty dynamic. And really, my role is really interesting now because there really aren't that many Taco Bells out in the world as of today. If you look at the white space and the incredible opportunity, like our sister brand at KFC has, 23,000 restaurants, and we just got started with 1,000. So It's such an incredible opportunity, honestly. There's so much room for us to grow. And so my day-to-day is not the same, but the connecting thread is like I wake up every day thinking about how do we take the magic of this amazing brand that is Taco Bell and take it outside of U.S. borders. And so one day I could be talking to the UK about, a new store opening. The next day it's how do we educate people around tacos in India. But I think the connective thread really is about taking the strategy of this amazing brand and localizing it into culture around the world.
So we talk about the cultural rebel.
Yeah.
So when you go to parts of Asia, parts of Central America, parts of Europe, is there a cultural rebel in every market?
Yes, of course. I think we like to say this, but cultural rebel is a mindset, not a persona. So it's not a specific person, right? And it's the same for the U.S. So regardless of whether in Central America or whether you're in China, the feeling is the same, even if the execution looks a little bit different. So I love that because it's something we can all rally around. We all have that sort of rebellious, pioneering spirit.
So Taylor, you, when I first got here, you took the job that Amy has today.
That's right.
You did that for a couple of years, and now you're in the United States.
And Amy's doing it much better for the record, but yes.
So talk about the size and scale of Taco Bell in the U.S. and what is it to be responsible for this brand in this massive market?
Yeah, I think it's a mind bender when people ask, because you look at the brand and it's so youthful and distinctive, and people automatically assume, it's just for, it's for young people. Yeah. And I think the scale of the brand, Mark, to your point, I think is really humbling. I mean, 65% of the country comes to Taco Bell at least once a year. Just think about that.
I know.
It's almost
crazy.
200 million Americans, right? It's 50-50 male, female. It's across all income demographics
Old people
and bands.
like myself.
We would never
Mark,
identify you as that, Mark.
All ages.
So I think when you think about a brand like that and the impact that it has in culture, it's equal parts humbling as well as it is exciting. On when we move, and we really believe in something, culture will go with us. And there's something really intoxicating and fun about that.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Well, that leads us to the main topic for today, which is this expression Taco Tuesday. It seems like it's everywhere. People have been using it, and nobody's ever really said anything. However, there was a trademark on Taco Tuesday.
That's absurd.
And you two and a group of people decided, that's not right. We should give Taco Tuesday back to the people.
Yeah.
So Taylor, start with give everyone an overview, because I'm not sure everybody knows that's listening what exactly happened.
Yeah, I mean, we've been spending a lot of time over the past couple of years really thinking about the brand's soul. Where do we come from? What do we stand for? What did Glenn have in his mind when he started the brand 62 years ago? And one of the things that we started to think about a lot was, well, what do we exist to do ultimately? We got to this concept of, hey, I think as a brand, our job is to feed curiosity for the unconventional. That's what we need to do. Okay, well, what's getting in the way of that? Right? What are some things that everyone should own that are bigger than us? And what we took a step back and said, hey, maybe Taco Bell was the first brand to really take Mexican-inspired food and make it mainstream. But there are so many people out there, Mark, that do that every day. And they can't do that with something that they should be able to do,
or at least legally,
right. which is Taco Tuesday. And so for us, we went back and said, okay, if this is what we believe and what we stand for and how we started, why shouldn't we join hands and do something as an act of, call it constructive rebellion, to give something back to something that's bigger than us, which is everybody that sells, makes, and celebrate tacos. And for us, it just didn't sit right with us that some of these mom and pop brands or local taquerias are getting cease and desist letters, Mark. They can't do Taco Tuesday.
Crazy.
And this is how they make their lifeblood. And for us, we run a business, yes, but ultimately we stand for, getting America excited about something that's different, sparking curiosity, and Taco Tuesday is a vehicle to do that. So we just said that wasn't right. Amy said it wasn't right. We need to give Taco Tuesday back. To everyone who sells and makes tacos. So it started with a little, going deep on our soul. What do we stand for? And what's an act? What's something that we can do that really gives something back to taco culture? And freeing Taco Tuesday was it.
So we went through the legal process.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't just an act.
No, it wasn't. So we actually filed a legal petition to release Taco Tuesday. Now, the basis of the filing was that really, Taco Tuesday is pretty generic, and that actually speaks to the insight and where it all started from, which is so many people use it, so many people should use it. They should use it without the fear of any type of legal repercussion. So the basis of ours, and a shout out to our legal team, who are really the heroes of this whole thing, was it's a generic term. Nobody should own it. So we actually filed a petition to release the trademark. We published that petition in the Washington Post. We put it in the New York Times. We put it on a billboard in LA to show everybody that we were serious. Now we did it in the Taco Bell way. We had a little bit of fun with it, but it was a very serious thing. So that was the first act. So we put that out there. And we thought it was going to take a couple of years, honestly, Mark, for it to actually work its way through. And everybody out there that was holding on to the trademark saw the light. And 3 months later, Taco Tuesday is now free.
Yeah, and really, Taylor, hats off to everyone that was a part of it and the legal team, but also hats off to the two individuals that owned the trademark. Because I think when they really saw that this wasn't going to stop them from using it, and it was giving it back, they almost willingly said, yes, I think this is probably a better place for Taco Tuesday to live.
I'm glad that you said that, Mark, because I think that was a big part of the discourse that we had with the other brands that owned it, was for them to really understand why we were doing it. Yeah. It wasn't for Taco Bell to own it, because we don't believe that anybody should own it. Right. And I think it's a really interesting act for us as a brand, that actually, how do we bring everybody together and celebrate something together versus make something exclusive to only a few brands. And shout out to those other brands for really hearing us, understanding it, and ultimately getting behind us with this thing.
Yeah. So Amy, I'm not sure all the markets have a Taco Tuesday, right?
It's a little bit different.
It's a little bit different. So is there going to be an impact? Are we going to share this Taco Tuesday phenomenon with the world?
Yeah, actually, it was amazing that while the U.S. went out to liberate Taco Tuesday, we actually said, this is an awesome occasion for us to build globally, because unlike the U.S., where it's a thing, it's not a thing internationally, right? Taco Tuesday is not a thing. But as we go out and say, hey, we have to build Taco Bell internationally, we actually also have to build tacos. Like, there are places where the Mexican category isn't all that relevant. And actually leaning into Taco Tuesday as a way for us to teach people when and how to eat a taco was an awesome opportunity for us, actually. So we sort of built on this momentum of, tacos for all, and said Taco Tuesday should be celebrated everywhere. And so while the U.S. is liberating, let's go out and educate people on Taco Tuesday and start to actually invite people maybe for the first time ever to experience Taco Tuesday at a Taco Bell. So it was a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And Taylor, we had a little help from a very famous person who actually celebrates Taco Tuesday with his family. Talk about that.
We did. Taco's biggest fan, which is LeBron James, actually. I think what was really special about that partnership, Mark, was why did we reach out to LeBron? And it wasn't because he is the NBA's all-time leading scorer. It's because he has a natural connection to Taco Bell and Taco Tuesday. Yeah. And the story that we uncovered speaking with him and speaking with people on his team was Taco Tuesday was a big thing for his family during the pandemic. That's how he got his family together. And he also believed that that's something that everybody should celebrate. So I think what was amazing about that was LeBron didn't partner with us as LeBron superstar, King James, LeBron the family man, LeBron the lover of Taco Tuesday, which is what made the partnership so fun and so authentic. And also he happened to be pretty big in some of our markets around the world too.
Yeah, it's actually what allowed us to basically build that awareness internationally, because LeBron, not as the sports player, but as this global icon and this lover of Taco Tuesday, we were able to leverage him, around the world, and especially in China, actually, because he's such a big icon for everyone in China. So we were able to leverage that there as we start to build that Taco Bell.
I mean, if you just think of the last 2 years, Doja Cat, Dolly Parton, LeBron James,
Pete Davidson,
Devontae. It's just amazing the different people that are attracted to this Taco Bell brand.
Yeah, it's incredible, actually.
But it also reflects who our customers are.
Yeah.
100%.
Everybody loves Taco Bell. And I think there's a diversity and something magical about how many people love the brand. And that's when we can partner with all of those people like that who actually want to partner with us because they love the brand.
Yeah. It's like they reach out to us because they love it so much. There's a true, authentic relationship back to Taco Bell.
I've never seen a diversity of influencers come to a brand like this one. It's really amazing.
Yeah,
it is.
Because normally a brand will find influencers and they're all the same because they're going to represent one value or something. we go across from Dolly Parton to Paris Hilton to LeBron James to Pete Davidson. I mean, it's truly amazing what this brand does.
It's because the math is different. And Amy, I'd love your take on it. A lot of other brands partner with people to push their own agenda as a brand.
Like a grab at cool.
Exactly,
right?
which is why they all look and feel the same, because they want consumers to feel this way about a brand, so I'm going to partner with so-and-so.
Yeah.
For us, I think it's actually the other way around. We want to partner with people that genuinely love the brand, because for us, we are a brand that is about our fans first and foremost. So we got to let fans into the brand. So that's why you get such a diverse walk of people that come in. It's a different way to think about it.
And I love it because, you know, we named some really big stars, but there's also like icons of tomorrow. So
That's
what I
a
love
great
about
point.
Taco Bell is that we don't just pick out people who are part of pop culture. We pick out people, these true rebels who are starting to seed culture, right? So they'll be icons of tomorrow. And I think later when they become famous, we'll have this authentic partnership with them. And I think that's really the magic of Taco Bell, is that we grow together. It's not just a grab, like Taylor said at Cool.
All right, one more question around tacos. We talk a lot about taco culture.
Yeah.
Now that's kind of an internal thing, right?
Yeah.
It is.
And then we have this: when tacos win, we all win. What the hell does that mean?
Oh, Taylor, I'll leave
You
that
wanna go
you.
first?
Yeah, I'll leave that to you first. Yeah, we can build off of that.
I think it comes back to, as a brand, what do we believe our role in the world, and I'm going to say the world, it's not just in culture, but what do we believe our role in the world is? And we have to humbly recognize that we are part of something bigger than us. Taco culture, which is music, it is food, it is fusion, it is fashion when you think about it, right? We are a part of it. We don't own it. We can fuel it. We can champion it. And so when we think about a phrase like "when tacos win, we all win," it's our way of being really clear to consumers really how we see ourselves and what our role is in the world, which is we want everybody that sells and celebrates tacos to win, because we believe in the transformative power of, hey, tacos and burritos hit a little bit different than a burger. They do.
Yeah.
And we want everyone to experience that. And if it's with us, great. If it's with somebody else, great. But I think that's what those two things mean. It's a way to reorient on where we sit in the world and honestly what our mission is.
It's almost even more important for us internationally too, because taco culture doesn't always exist,
Right.
and it's something we have to build. And this idea of
Yeah.
if everyone's going to champion tacos, that's good for all of us, right? And so if we want to go build this category relevance around Mexican-inspired food, then we're happy for everyone to take part in that. So this idea of when tacos win, we all win is even more important, I think, actually, for us outside.
We had a campaign, and I think you were part of it, Taylor, a couple of years ago. I see a taco.
Yeah.
And it was these visuals of everything you actually see is in the shape of a taco.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Including the moon, by the way.
Including,
Yeah,
I was just
taco
going to
moon.
say, including the
Taco
moon.
moon.
Yeah.
Taco moon. I
Yeah.
know. It's big.
Yeah, I think that idea and that campaign was really just starting to seed tacos into everyday
Exactly.
culture. And I think we've evolved into this idea of what we say is seeding taco culture or building a taco world, which is even more important for us to find those occasions like Taco
Yeah.
Tuesday and moments for us to actually start to build the category relevance. And so.
All right, so I want to just pivot now and talk about, or have you guys explain something. We, Taco Bell, were able to recruit Sean Tresvant, who is the chief brand officer today and will soon be my replacement in a couple of months, away from Nike and Jordan. Maybe one of the top 10 brands in the world. But yet he was willing to come to this brand. I have two daughters. One works for Coke, one works for Blenders Eyewear, two really cool brands. Well, one is probably one of the biggest brands in the world. And both of them talk about, oh my God, Dad, Taco Bell is the coolest brand. So you're two very young superstar marketers. What is it like to go home at night and think about the responsibility of guiding? And I know there are a bunch of teams and smart people and data and all this stuff, but yet it falls really in your laps to be the stewards of this brand and to have the responsibility of this is one of the coolest brands in the world. What does that feel like, Amy?
I mean, it's pretty incredible. Honestly, I mentioned this earlier, like coming to Taco Bell has been an amazing experience as a marketer because this is, I think, one of the best brands in the world.
Yeah.
And so, interestingly for me, as we, having worked on the U.S. side and now coming over to international, the opportunity is endless, actually, to think about this amazing brand that, Taylor is shaping and building in the US and say, how do we take the magic of that outside US borders and into other countries is pretty incredible opportunity, right? And I've never felt so inspired and motivated in my life, to be honest. It's a challenge because obviously we're still building it and growing, and there are places that don't even know what a taco is, but it's a fun opportunity. And so I can't think of a better place for me to be in the endless opportunity to build Taco Bell in the world. So,
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I think it's funny, Mark, that you use the word responsibility, right? Because you said, hey, your question was, how does it feel to be responsible for a brand like this? And for me, it's pretty deeply personal. I think the first feeling that you have is a big sense of humility and responsibility, because you look after and have a team of really talented people that look after something that means something so deeply to so many people. And that's exciting, that's humbling, and you feel the responsibility. But I think more than anything, for me personally, I think that we, as the stewards of the brand, have a responsibility to inspire people to be cultural rebels, just like Taco Bell is. Yeah. And I think for me, that's the deeply personal part of it. Is the most iconic brands in the world, my personal belief, are rebel brands. Why is that? Because they inspire people to have courage. They inspire people to be fearless. They inspire people to be authentic. And when you think about it, that is really what Taco Bell stands for. And so for me, I take that as my personal mission, and I think the brand's the extension of that. So I feel a responsibility for it. But man, it's exciting because the emotional impact that this brand has on consumers and the fans is big.
Yeah, as I think about, I spent most of my life in golf, and at one of the nicest, most powerful brands, Taylor made. But when you look at the opportunities for that brand, they're very limited. It's a performance golf equipment brand. So if you have a golfer that's not really about performance, they're not interested in your product. Yep. So it's such a small kind of range of where you can take that brand. 65% of Americans at one point during the year eat at Taco Bell, right? So how do you corral the opportunities, and how do you pick the opportunities? Because from my seat, they're almost endless, and that's not the case with all brands.
I think it's a fine line to walk, and I think Amy has a very different challenge that I know very well on how do you take the brand and put it into and create that cult in more countries, which Amy can speak to. But I think we have to walk a fine line, Mark, because at one point you're right. There's so many different occasions in our category, outside of our category, things like apparel. There are collabs. We did a thing with Crocs. It was like the hottest shoe this summer. There's so many different occasions that we can get into within the QSR space. So I think that's exciting. But it's a balance on, but what is authentic to us? Yeah. And that is the line that we walk every day, which is where's the opportunity for growth and to reach more consumers, but what can honestly be authentic to the brand? And sometimes you have things that are really authentic to the brand that are very small, not worth it. Big opportunities, not authentic to the brand, not worth it. So that's what we try to walk all the time, is how do you get those two things together?
It's so true. Like that idea of just because it's big and on trend doesn't mean that we should do it.
That's
because
right.
if it means nothing for our brand. I even think internationally it's even more important because they can be very swayed by what's happening, and I think keeping them in that authentic space is really important. But
So last question before I get to the last question.
yeah.
The last question is very difficult. But the second to the last question is, so where do you see, if you had to go out 10 years from now, where do you see the Taco Bell brand? What is it doing? What does it look like? What does it feel like? Right? And I mean, there's no right or wrong answer here, but just as, where do you feel like it can go, or you would like to see it go, and the impact?
You want to go first, Ames?
I mean, mine is such an, mine, as I think about, we only have 1,000 restaurants. So I hope 10 years from now that we have far more restaurants than we have in the U.S., right? That no matter where you are in the world, you can experience the magic of the brand of Taco Bell. And, little by little, taco by taco, we sort of build out this taco world. So I think, I feel like, they say that expression, like standing on the shoulder of giants. Like, I want to learn from what has happened in this incredible brand in the U.S. And hopefully 10 years from now, we can say that we have learned forward and built this outside of the U.S. So hopefully we'll have a world of Taco Bells.
Love it.
Yeah.
That would be great.
10 years from now, two things. Emotionally, I would love for people to have a deeper connection to the brand. I want us to deepen our relationship with consumers. I think we're just beginning to unpack what the word Live Más means and what they stand for. And there's so much richness in who we are and what we bring and the impact on culture that we have. So I think that's aspiration number one, is to have a deeper connection with consumers. I also want to be more present in consumers' lives every day. There's so many occasions that we have that we don't play in today that we should. So many occasions that people come to the category for that I think we can create an experience that is not necessarily better, but different. So that's my hope for that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay. Enough of the serious stuff that we have.
Okay, let's go.
We end every podcast with this really tough question, which is, what is your favorite go-to item at Taco Bell? So, Amy, you lead.
Yeah, for sure it's the breakfast crunch wrap.
Wow.
I love it
You
so
love
much.
the breakfast crunch wrap.
You know what? I used to, before, when I wasn't working on Taco Bell, I always said the Crunchy Taco Supreme because it's like the classic, and I always got that. Yeah. But since I came here and then I worked on breakfast and I started eating the breakfast, it's phenomenal. I honestly think it's one of the best products we have.
And I'm just going to pitch a little bit for Taco Bell, Amy. If you're out there and you're driving down the road and you're thinking about your typical breakfast at McDonald's, don't. Because that crunch wrap is not only better, it's easier.
It's easier. It's the best product. I swear to you.
Absolutely.
Go try it. It's the best breakfast
That's my little pitch. Go get the crunch wrap.
That's right.
Taco Bell breakfast is rad. There you go.
Rad.
Taylor.
I am a very classic, traditional, like Taco Bell purist. And you can't just pick one thing, because this is my like standard order. Number one.
This feels very Taylor. You can't just pick one thing.
No, you can't. Green burrito, grilled extra onions.
What?
Whoa.
Really?
Game changer if you haven't tried it.
Okay.
Chicken quesadilla, add green sauce, double chicken.
I brought
Incredible.
back the green sauce.
You did.
And
You
the
did.
sauce.
You did.
My
You
legacy.
did.
It's
Of
green
many
sauce.
things, and a
Clutch.
standard crunchy taco, not supreme,
Yeah,
not a DLT, a standard crunchy
We're not
taco.
Supreme or?
No, just a regular crunchy taco.
Listen, tell the world.
You will
everyone
not
go
regret
get
it if you get all three of those things.
Guys, thank you very, very much. What you do for so many people, for franchisees, for consumers, leading this brand around the world and here in the United States, it's truly amazing. So thank you for all you do.
Thanks for having us, Mark.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Okay, everyone, for the tens of millions of people in attendance today, thank you for tuning in. Subscribe to the podcast on the Taco Bell LinkedIn page, or I actually have a LinkedIn page, and we'll see you next time.